Well, welcome everybody. We got a very special edition of the Confused Breakfast podcast. Mike, Sean, and AJ here with a special new friend of ours, Conor, Sherry. And now I'm going to set this up real quick here. You've heard us talk about the movie Snack Shack. We've been talking about it for months. And let's say you haven't seen it yet. You're still going to want to listen to this. We're going to talk about the movie. We're not going to go crazy and do much spoilers, but we are going to talk about it. But if you have seen Snack Shack, this is it for you. We're finally getting to sit down and talk to the man himself. Conor, how are you? Thanks for being here, man.
I'm great. I'm so glad you guys liked it. I'll talk about this movie for forever. I love whenever people want to talk about it. So I appreciate it.
Well, it was kind of a weird moment because Sean over here, he's I guess me and AJ's movie buff. He is the guy that everyone should have a friend like Sean where they're like, listen, Mike, whatever you're doing tonight, stop, because I just watched a movie and I know that you will love it. And he did that to me with Snack Shack. And whenever Sean tells me something like that, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to be serious about this. And I won't lie to you, man, like this was one of my favorite movies that I've seen in a long time. And I know we're going to get into it, but one of my favorite things about it was your performance as the lead role. I believed it. I bought it. But it turns out this is your first movie you've ever been in?
Yeah, it's my first. So I've done some TV stuff, but yeah, this is my first movie and certainly my first leading role in like a film, any sort of film project. But it was, So it was wild. It was right in there. I was first called, last to leave. And I got to see a movie get made, all the ups and downs, and also be in it, which was crazy. But yeah, it was wild.
Was that a weird challenge for you to go from TV into just like a starring role in a film?
I think not really, only because movies move, like this movie moved slower than the rapid, multicam TV situation. So while I had more to do and I had more lines and scenes every single day, it was moving at a more intimate pace, I think is how I describe movie versus TV.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like Mike said, I loved you in it, and I have to say that the allergy scene when you're mowing the lawn, there's nothing that's been more real that I've ever seen in my entire life, because I'm the one who mows my lawn, obviously, and I was just like, that is what it's like for me.
It is.
And so thank you for portraying that exactly perfectly.
No, I'm right there with you. You know, that was one of the audition scenes that we did, or I did. And I'm the same. It's cats and grass, and same with our director Adam, same too. And it's so funny, but it was brutal. So yeah, it was very real. And there's a big community. No, you're not alone. I've actually had a lot of people reach out.
I'm joining that community. I'm in the process of joining that community. I'm finding out, actually. Yeah, my allergies are really flaring up about every single spring that comes along. Cats have always been an issue, but grass is becoming a big problem in my life, guys.
People grow out of them and grow into them, so the community kind of ebbs and flows.
I've always been a late bloomer, so it's fine.
So Conor, you probably know a lot more about this movie than I do, but this was essentially kind of based on Adam, the writer and director's life, right?
Yeah, it was. He so many parts of it are true. He calls it kind of a meditation on his life, and we were really fortunate because we got to shoot in the real town he grew up in, which was the wildest thing to land and then have the script that I've been reading for months, preparing. All the storefronts matched, all the people matched. His parents still live there. So yeah, it's definitely all true, but there's embellishments. And
of course. Is that tough though? Like, you're him, right? You're the guy that's playing the guy that wrote it. And is that kind of a bigger responsibility for you, or is it great because he can essentially pull you aside and say, this is how I was feeling in this moment, kind of a thing? Or did he give you the liberty to just kind of do what you felt was necessary for the character?
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't thought about like that part of it in a while, but I think Adam was really clear right when we got out there and right when he cast us that he cast, Gabe, me, and Mika, and Moose is a real person as well, I should add, and is in Nebraska still and would come around set. His daughter was in like the background of stuff. Yeah, it's wild. does not disappoint in real life. That's what I'll say. It's exactly what you'd want. But Adam was really, he was really forward in the beginning that he cast us for a reason. And then he didn't want us we weren't doing like impressions. Like I wasn't playing Adam. It was, Conor, you or AJ once he cast me, and then like kind of find it within. So that was really helpful, I think, for all of us to know that we weren't trying to bring justice to, a story or something. So,
well, speaking of you and Gabe, what was the kind of chemistry test for you guys like? Did you guys get together like a week before the shoot, or like a couple weeks, or what was that like? And what was that kind of how fast was the friendship? Because I can only imagine that it took off right away, because it just translates so well on the screen.
Yeah, it was. God, Gabe's so hilarious. We had he wanted to be here today. I think he's doing I don't even know. He had some meeting, or he's in Canada. I don't know what he's doing, but he wanted to be here. But it was great. I mean, we did the chem read when we were auditioning. That was the first time we met, and obviously got along good. It was mainly in like the room. Obviously that worked, but yeah, they flew us out 2 weeks early, which was a game changer. It was just Gabe and I out there, and we were working the real snack shack.
Oh wow!
Hanging out with all the real locals. So I think that 2 weeks really helped. It was before the crew got there and the rest of the cast. So we really bonded those weeks, and then just continued on the whole summer. It just got better and better.
Yeah. So there's an actual snack shack that is still there that you went to in Omaha and actually just like worked there before the movie shot.
100%. Like
what?
You guys don't even understand. It's the same pool. Like it's the same pool that Adam worked at.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And sold the fuck dogs. That part's real. The older people in the community of Nebraska City remember the fuck dogs. They remember all the stories,
So the one in the film is the same pool, or was this different just for filming aspects?
No, so it's the same pool, different snack shack. They kind of built
gotcha.
off to the side. They have a little more modern, air-conditioned one now. But yeah, and they kept it. The snack shack is now at the baseball field, our snack shack. And now it's being used there. So but I think the locals thought we were doing we said we were doing a movie, but I don't think they really realized. I think they thought we were doing like a college thesis film or something, and then because it was just us selling hot dogs, and then all of a sudden the trailers and the whole world showed up, to the little town.
We always make the joke, I guess Sean's make the joke plenty of times, where it's like, if you're ever just take a camera somewhere and just tell them, oh, it's for a school project. And most people like leave you alone, they'll let you do whatever. It's like you walk into a store with a camera. It's like, oh, it's a school project. It's fine. Like, oh, okay, that's fun. It's for school, for college in your junior year or something like that kind of a thing. But it was the opposite for this. It's just like they saw cameras, and did people just come out of the woodwork? Were you guys surrounded like all the time, or was it pretty clean?
A little bit. I think it was so interesting because we really did become friends with some of the locals that worked at the pool, the real lifeguards in those 2 weeks. And the town is so small. Everybody knows everyone. Every girl that we were working with or guy like at the snack shack, like their parents went to high school with Adam. So it was very Midwest, everyone knows everyone. So it was that was a unique experience, and our hotel was across the street from the pool, the only hotel in the town. So it was very much so we would just walk across the street to work, and same on the weekends. But and the background was all real. They couldn't close the pool. So
oh really?
I mean, they'd have nothing. We would effectively ruin Nebraska City's summer if we closed their pool. So yeah, they just left it open and let that fill the background, which is wild.
The thing I love most about this movie, to anybody listening, thinking about checking out Snack Shack, is that I feel like everybody goes through a summer in their life where everything changes, like where things are different now after this summer. And that's, I think, what I love so much about your character, this story, is that things are not ever going to be the same for him moving forward. And it's so easy for me, being a guy who's probably Adam's age. I'm 42, and I was that age in 91, going like, oh my God, this movie's like describing my life right now. But the thing I want to know most from you is like, it's easy for me to get into that nostalgic mindset of the 90s and what it was like, but you obviously weren't around in 91. I mean, was it pretty easy to pull off that kind of retro idea of the 90s? Like even to your clothing, man, like you looked like you were from the 90s. Are you watching a lot of old stuff? Are you just kind of going off direction? How are you pulling off? You're making me think like you are me back in 91. And I think you did it so good. So how did you pull that off?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll also say the 90s were more fun, hands down. I'm like, after, playing pretend that long, like you guys really had it back. So good job. But I think it was a lot of elements. I think Nebraska City helped. Hasn't aged much.
Midwest for you.
That's true.
I kind of got plugged in right into the middle of the Midwest. And yeah, Adam's a big music guy. So we had a lot of music, long playlists, watched all his, the Combat Shock, all the stuff he grew up watching,
Nice.
all those kind of movies. So yeah, it really helped. And I also think when everyone arrived and we were in Nebraska City, like it just all felt very synonymous with what the script was, kind of what we were experiencing. I mean, the pool is all we had. Truly on the weekends, we were swimming in the pool or, walking down Main Street, which is like the same exact stuff we're doing in the movie. So I think that those parts helped. And I also grew up with very granola parents. So I was like the last kid to get an iPod Touch. And I had to do chores for like a little 15-minute TV ticket. So yeah, I like to think I had less screens growing up. We had a great neighborhood, which I think also I pulled from a lot. But yeah.
I would echo that, because we always talk about how like there's the jokes or the memes and stuff out there. It's like, Dazed and Confused was 1993 to 1976. That means, correct me if I'm wrong here on my math, because I'm not a math major or anything, but it's like that means the distance between like now and when this movie was, it's actually a longer stint than when Dazed and Confused came out.
Yes.
And when they were portraying it, which is just a wild thought. But again, it's like you guys captured it so well, and we've just talked about how like you just don't quite, it takes so much effort, it seems like, or maybe the right amount of effort to actually capture an era like this. Dazed and Confused did it very well. John Hughes does it very well. But like, do you think this is just Adam's do you just think it's like his vision? It's just, I'm just doing what I did. Is that just that's just literally where it came from?
He talked about it with us a lot, and he'd been kind of writing this for a really long time. He's always had like index cards writing moments, and that's kind of where he said it started. And he just would collect all these moments of growing up, and then was able to make it into kind of the ultimate summer, combining a bunch of different summers.
Okay.
Which I think helped to kind of find the plot within pulling the parts of his upbringing that he wanted. Wait, what was the question?
Yeah. I wonder, we don't see it captured very often. And we just recently talked about how we just don't get it captured. And I'm wondering if since it's portrayed so well, did it just come from Adam's mind, or were there other like producers involved? Were there other like people giving their influence into this? Or is it really just Adam's kind of brainchild that he's like putting onto you guys, and then you guys are portraying it?
It really was Adam. I mean, as much as I wish I could say that he gave us the freedom to kind of improvise like within scenes, and we did a lot, which was freeing. But I'll say that the final cut is very true to script, all the way down to, the Runza is like a big Nebraska, like everyone that's from Nebraska, like Runza's the fast food we were eating.
Yeah.
There's a ton of like, there's a lot of things that I think make it feel 90s that you don't even notice, which helps like the overall vibe, if that makes sense.
I agree.
It's like it's the things that like someone from California would never know, but Nebraska people are like, that's vintage, or like that's Nebraska that.
Yes.
And he fought for Nebraska City. I know that it's not an incentive state,
right? Right.
Tax breaks, but he knew that being in the real town where all of this took place and parts of it were pulled from that would mean a lot, and it really made all the difference. Like it did. It was just there.
Well, the movie got me like right off the bat. As far as like the way it was shot and the way it was kind of paced with like very fast cuts and you guys talking very fast with each other. And then it gets us, we're from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It gets us when you say you're in Council Bluffs gambling, or when you got the good weed from Iowa City. You know?
Yeah, I went to school in Iowa City, man. I was like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I didn't know we were beefing. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Iowa people here.
Yeah, we hate Nebraska, but we're dealing with it just because it's you and you're really cool. So
Nebraska has shitty corn. Everyone knows that.
Right, you see that hat?
I did.
That was my prop.
That's the best. That's our. He's a good friend of mine now, Charles, but he was a producer on the movie. And he's wearing the Iowa has bad corn.
Bad corn.
Amazing. Oh my God. Every time whenever we watch it together, we all just like erupt when Charles has this big moment, deadpan moment. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah. We brought up movies like Days Confused or just like summer movies in general. Like I feel like The Sandlot's a great summer movie. It's kind of capturing this kid's summer in one contained amount of time. Did you watch any movies like that to prepare for it, or did Adam give you any movies like that, or like any buddy movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I really was reminded of that actually.
Oh, good call.
Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Was like that's those guys. It's just so much fun watching them. But did he give you any like references of like what he wanted the vibe to be or anything like that as far as films go?
Yeah, he did. I think the helpful part is we got to kind of pull from a lot of authentically made 90s movies that were just shot like real time in the 90s. And then we're now doing I guess it is a period piece. My mom's going to hate that. But but we were able to watch like the OG kind of 90 films. So I mean like Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
I don't think Adventureland was the 90s, but that vibe, like Adventureland, like the way back, kind of in that vein.
Oh, yes.
Really, really helped. But yeah, it's the movies I watched those growing up. I mean, because we had those ones and I wasn't that old, that young, I mean. So pulling from those was helpful tonally.
So this always happens to me, man. I find something, I find a band, I find a song, I find a movie, and I'm like, oh my God, it's one of the best things I've heard and seen in my life. And then you find out that like no one else knows about it, kind of. And it's a bit of a shocking moment when we started talking to you and started researching this, finding out that it really was. I never saw a preview for it. I never saw a trailer for it. I never heard of the movie until Sean said something. So you don't have to go terribly deep on this if you'll get in a troublesome spot here. But you kind of mentioned that they didn't really back this film. Is there a reason why they didn't push this? Because I'm watching this going, oh my God, this is the movie of the year. How come they're not selling this to me? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think. From what I've heard, I don't think any actor is ever, fully satisfied with the press campaign that happens. But I will say that everyone that was doing the release on this really loved the movie, like so much, to the point of, getting a theatrical release of any sort on a comedy, an independent, like comedic R-rated comedy in this era is nearly impossible. So we were happy with what we got. And we're very excited for it to go on Prime on September 1st. I think it'll get the most viewership. But I do think that a lot of studios' hands get tied with a brand new, original, R-rated comedy, in the style that we did it, which I think is a bummer. I so often I hear people saying they want more movies like Snack Shack.
Yeah.
So
I think they do. I think people do want more movies like this, and it is. I think it's been. I've been hearing it a lot from a lot of comedians and a lot of comedic actors that people are just kind of afraid to, whether it be the studio or people taking on a project or a script, they may love it, but they're afraid to get in trouble at this point. They're nervous about it. They're not sure how people will react, get canceled somehow.
That's true.
And it's just kind of a shame, because I do think people really do want more movies like this.
Yeah. No, I agree. I also think the strike came into play.
Oh,
we had a summer release that was going to happen, kind of missed that window, and then they were waiting. But I can say, because I've actually talked to most of the execs that were involved, that they all love this movie, all the way down to like the PAs on set that we all still talk. And so there's so much love around it. It was just kind of a bummer that we couldn't get the financial backing, I guess, to do a wider release. But we're excited. Prime, Amazon Prime. That's what we've been waiting for. So
I think we're waiting till that date to actually release this. So anyone listening, this movie is available. Everyone has a Prime. Everyone does. You or your wife or your girlfriend, just go watch it. It's ready for you. It's called Snack Shack. It's hanging out there. And this is our 4th year of doing this, where we're talking about popular movies from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And a lot of these favorite movies we come upon, we do research and we find out, oh man, it just didn't take off. It didn't do well its first year. And then it just has that weird resurgence where it becomes a cult classic that everyone loves. And I honestly think this movie is going to do that. And I almost think it's better that way for you, man, because it's so special when you see something that like no one else has seen. What Sean got to do to us, to be like, oh my God, Mike, you're going to love this movie. Like, that's what people are doing now, and they're going to continue to do over the next couple years. And I really think this thing is going to blow up like in the cult classic fashion. It's going to it has to.
Yeah, that's the hope. And I've noticed it really is it is delayed, because even now, like, there's more heat like on my career literally in the past 2 weeks than the entire time since it came out. I think a lot of that has to do with it being on airplanes.
That's how AJ saw it.
Yeah, so, exactly, right.
I was sitting there and I'm like listening to just some music and stuff, and my wife actually turned it on. She was sitting next to me, turned it on in the in-flight entertainment. And I'm looking over and I can't hear it. She's got headphones in or something. And I'm like looking over and like I'll just catch myself like watching in silence on Snack Shack. And then I look over again and she's like, and she sat, emotional moment hits her too. I'm like, God, this movie must be really good. It's doing this on a plane, man.
I've really noticed that. Like, I did I mentioned to you guys, I did Bert Kreischer's podcast.
Yeah.
And his wife ended up coming on the pod and talking to us for like an hour and a half. She saw it in theaters, and she had been telling Bert for a while, like, you got to see this movie. And it's been really interesting. So many like daughters or wives have like seen it first, and then like pulled the other people in. And yeah, a lot of cool people have reached out and like seen it, which has been really validating. And so that was kind of the dichotomy, was it not getting the wide release, but then we go on Letterboxd and we're like, wait, but what do you mean? And then we go on like, even the big reviews, we're like, wait, but people like it. So like, why, where's the disconnect? But yeah, I mean, can't complain. And I really hope it has like its full moment, which Napoleon Dynamite did bad in theaters. Everyone just
same thing, dude.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Same thing, man. And Conor, my claim to fame for the rest of my life is that Bert Kreischer's wife told him to watch the movie, and he said, nah. Bert Kreischer's daughters said, Bert, you got to watch the movie. He said, nah. Then I texted him and said, Bert, if anyone I know will love this movie, it's you. And he called me and he goes, everybody's been telling me to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm like, I was the guy that made Bert Kreischer watch Snack Shack. Yes.
And he saw it on a plane.
Of course he did, man.
It had to be served up in a silver platter is what got him. It had to be the only thing in front of him, right? That's so funny.
Did you go to his new studio then that he's got set up there in LA?
Epic.
So we were on Bertcast, but we were in the studio that was in his house. And I think like 2 weeks later he moved into the new one, and so we haven't been there yet. But did you have a good time on that? Like, was that fun meeting him? Did he treat you all right?
Oh, it was so fun. Yeah, I'm like, thank you for texting him and tripling down the referrals. No, it's great. It's wild what they're doing over there though. They've got so many podcasts. I mean, it's essentially a house, I guess, a second house. But he was great. It was so fun. We talked about a lot of stuff outside of the movie, which I'm a little nervous about, but no, it's fun.
Wait till your episode does come out, man. You're gonna see a giant influx of people dropping into your Instagram. It happened to us. We were somewhat unknown, and then when we went on Bertcast, it was like like it just
really.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
When I first watched the movie, I did review it on Letterboxd, and all I said was, "You want to make out to Combat Shock, or you ever make out to Combat Shock?" And I was like, "That," because I think that sums up the movie for me anyway, because I love Combat Shock too. But I did this whole like diatribe on Facebook, and I had like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 people reach out to me and be like, "What is this?" And like maybe 6 people watched it that day that I know of.
Yep.
And and they all came back and they're like, "That was amazing. I cried. I laughed my ass off." I'm kind of wondering for you, what was, how did the script get to you, and how was like kind of maybe the audition process a little bit?
Yeah, I was definitely a wild card. I just did a self tape, and I was actually had COVID when I did it.
Oh man.
And I was like in a hotel room. Adam always, in all his press, he was saying it was a shitty tape, and he's like, it was blurry, and I think it was okay, but I'm like, it worked anyway. But yeah, so I taped, and then I got sent the script, and before I went to the chem read, I had watched. Did y'all see Dinner in America, his other movie?
Haven't yet. I'm dying to check it out.
Oh, you guys got to check, dude. That movie, it like killed at Sundance. It like won a bunch of stuff at Sundance. Got screwed by COVID. Never got the release.
Oh damn.
Yeah, brutal, just brutal. But it's on Hulu. Like amazing reviews. It's like the fan base is wild. It's very it's like Snack Shack, but it's like punk rock. If that any of that.
Okay, sold.
Man.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch it tonight. So
forget it. You're gonna be wrecked. So I went and saw that like 2 days before the chem read. I went to what is that? What's that theater that plays like cool movies and they have food? They're like very small. It's really nice. They play like old movies. They have food and beer.
Where at?
It's in LA, but they're in like all different cities.
Tarantino's thing.
Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So it's the only theater playing it, and I went and saw it, and I was like, holy shit! It just like destroyed me in the best way, and I was like, oh shit! I need to cancel all my plans. I was like, this is it. And when I read the script, Gabe and I always say, I mean, we read most of the scripts that are for people that look like us and are our age, and it's not fuck this, fuck you, you know, it's not like it's not that. It's so when we both read it, we agreed that we were like, holy shit, like this is really what 14-year-olds talk like, 15-year-olds talk like. And so that was really cool. It made it mean more or want to be a part of it, because it was the most authentic thing I'd read since I moved out here, like right off the bat, just with the dialogue.
It's 100% exactly what they talk like. I have like, there's kids who play wiffle ball outside of my house, like off to the side. And I swear I can hear it constantly. Like these things that come out of their mouth is insane to me, dude.
Like,
and then I was
dog, but it's not, it's a different context.
Oh, dude. Like what is it? It's been like this, like super cat rashiz, like whatever this and I sound like such an old man. Yes, dude. It's like I'm 35 years old. It's like, but I sound like I'm 70. But like it is 100% what it sounds like. And even to me, I'm like, did I talk like that when I was that
Yes,
age?
you did.
I was like, no, I did. I totally did.
No.
And so again, that's just like part of it that this movie captures, that it's very honest about. And like, yes, when you are 14, 15, whatever, going and in that age, you're trying to be so much older than you really are. You're trying to grow up so fast. And that is what this movie just pinned like to the wall. It's crazy, man. You guys, that's what you guys did so well and so right. It was perfect.
And everyone's been there, though. I mean, everyone's been talking game before they've even kissed a girl.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, what is Moose even saying half the time? You know, it's like, and we were all there. I always say, like, there's a couple people that I think will see the movie and be like, so much cussing. And I'm like, if you weren't a 14-year-old boy, whoa.
Is that Gabe?
That's Moose right now. Wait, I'll answer real quick. See what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yo, Gabe, I'm on the podcast right now. Say what's up.
You're literally on the podcast right now.
Dude, I did not put my phone on to do not disturb and it rang out loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit, I thought it was earlier, and I was calling to say that I'm sorry I didn't see your text until later, and I was going to ask how it went.
Well, you can say hello right now.
You're on it right now.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Yo, dude.
What up, dude?
Gabe, we want to tell you how much we love you in this movie, man. But I also want to give you a chance. It sounds like you got something big coming out right now. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess so. That's yeah. Saturday night's on its way. Well, thank you, boys. I was literally calling. I just saw Conor's last-minute invitation to this fucking today, and I was calling to ask how it went. But you guys are literally on right now.
Hey, we'll send you a link right now if you want to join, man. No biggie though.
Are you out? It sounds like you're out
right now.
Damn.
I'm at the Grove right now. I just saw Strange Darling with Kyle Gomer, who Adam's shooting with right now. And I was just calling to gush about him. He was amazing. And Willa Fitzgerald, dude. Oh, my God. This is a good movie.
Kyle Gomer is, I was just telling about Dinner in America. He's the lead of that movie. Adam.
Oh, nice.
So great. But anyway.
Dude.
Well, if you get home, they can send you a link, but no problem. I know we were trying to squeeze it in.
Is it in person or remote?
No, it's like a Zoom. It's like a website.
I love the emphasis you put on Zoom.
Bro, I'm like, I got a big light in my face right now in a camera. I'm like,
he looks good.
Oh man. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, fellas. I am not privy to sign on at the moment, but thank you for all your love and support.
Appreciate you, man.
Hell
Heck yeah, man.
I'll call you later, bro.
All right, love you, man. Take care.
You, bro.
Dude, so clearly you've developed a pretty good friendship with Gabe then, right? From this movie.
Yeah, I think I just truly stressed him the fuck out. Definitely just like coming out the fucking.
Well, he didn't say anything. So it's called Saturday Night. It's a movie or is it a TV show? What is this Saturday Night?
Let me just hype him up real quick.
Yeah, please.
Insane. It's so insane. The trailer just dropped. It's called Saturday Night. It's about it's live time of the first like hour and a half before the first airing of
That's
Saturday
right.
Night Live.
What?
It's insane. He's playing Lorne Michaels.
What?
Oh
yeah,
my!
I'm sure you all know. Yeah. So it follows him through the most stressful. I think it's 70s. I think it's the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
The most stressful hour and a half before they go live on TV. Watch the trailer. It is crazy. They have all the, Chevy Chase, like all the callbacks to the originals. It's cast amazing.
I just watched the trailer and I'm like, I cannot believe that was Gabe.
Yeah,
I know.
I didn't recognize him at all.
So based.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you can't say Gabe of anybody that was in the cast. Who did you enjoy watching perform or performing with the most out of any of the actors?
Ooh, gosh, they were all. It's such a cliche answer, but I really
everybody was fantastic.
And I feel like especially on my first movie, I learned such different things from so many people, but from an enjoyment standpoint, Jillian Vigman, who plays my mom, she's great, like insane. She's in. If you guys could see the outtakes, I want Adam to just like release he would just let the camera roll, and Gabe and I would be sitting there, and she would be saying the most insane shit, and we would just be like, like we were just laughing, and like we knew it wasn't going to be in the movie, but that lady can improv, and she can dance the line. She is so funny.
Was there anything in like your real life that maybe kind of reflected this movie? Like, did you have any summers like you did as AJ in Snack Shack? Yeah,
I actually did, which I think people were surprised by when I started talking about the movie. But it kind of goes back to the street I grew up on. We had so many kids And we were like riding bikes and making up games in the street and getting in fights and having lemonade stands and all that stuff. So I really pulled on a lot of that. And I didn't quite realize that for my age, most kids didn't have that. They were already like deep on their phones. But yeah, my parents worked really hard for that. And we also didn't have a lot of money. So we were not, in Cabo. We were camping. Camping was our Disneyland. So we did a lot of that. And I think that helped for sure. But yeah, I would sell crazy shit when I was growing up. Like the whole neighborhood knew me for that, which is so ironic that I got it.
What was the craziest thing you would sell? Like so just as an example, when I was a kid, Sean hates me for this. He'll remember it here. But after Halloween, I would sell my Halloween candy on the bus.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Dude, like, because I was just like,
Rough
that's
out
what I
there.
wanted to do. That's what I did. I would open
I
up
don't
like
like
a
Reese's.
I would no, I loved Reese's. I'd sell like almond joys and bullshit like that. Or like this the unmarked like caramel candies that looked like off-brand like saltwater taffy, because that can exist. But no, you just like I'd open up a pencil box. Like, and I'd just be like, open for business, like I'm the Weasley kids, and I'd sell candy. What would you sell?
Well, I've been there. I really have. And I talked about this on Bert's podcast, and I'll tell you guys about it. But the craziest thing I sold in my neighborhood at my lowest point was rocks. It was really rocks. But I would paint them.
Of course.
And they would pay. I would sell painted rocks that I low-key stole from their own yard and then would paint and did that.
The fact that you painted them, though, that's a heck of a lot better than just you got the rocks and then sold it back, like picking their own flowers or something, But you painted them?
I did. Well, what it was, and my mom tells me the story, is that we were doing the whole lemonade stand thing. I was always selling that, but the overhead, it's crazy to even say. I would think I was 9. The overhead and the splitting of the earnings with the neighborhood was just not helping, between the sugar and all those things I needed. So I went to a more make more money. But I also sold candy in 6th grade.
Nice.
But it was I don't think did you guys ever smoke Smarties?
Oh, duh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did? You smoked?
Oh yeah. I still do.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It was
got a problem.
I got
the candy cigarettes.
Yeah. But no, the Smarties candy.
The circle ones that come in the long package.
Yeah.
No, I never smoked that.
Oh,
I think you're alone there.
Yeah.
I'm
He's like, no, finally somebody.
I got flamed on the other podcast. No one heard of it. I thought I had an ally in there. Yeah, but in middle school, that was a big thing to crush them up under your foot, and then you can basically smoke the dust. So my brother bought a bunch for me, and I had them on my backpack.
We used to snort just the sugar pack.
Yeah,
things.
Fun dips.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we just snort them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just snort fun dip?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird, man.
See, this is the good stuff. This is where this is what I wanted to find out, not only about Connor, but also about my co-host.
Yeah.
But I'm what other crazy stuff you guys do? Were you guys Sharpie smellers? There was a group at my school that did that.
Well, speaking of stealing shit, I around my neighborhood, they're on people's tires, they had just cool, bejeweled, I guess, air caps. And I would take those. I would just take them and put them on my bike. But then I would see who came out to the car and see they would kind of notice and shit. And I'd come up to them hey, I found this next to your car. And they'd sometimes give me $2 or something. I'd go to Walmart and get some sugar to
Some
sniff.
Smarties.
You get some fun dip to sniff.
Yeah.
Dude.
Connor, where are you from?
I'm from San Jose in NorCal.
Okay, and you made the move to LA for acting?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yes. That is why, but I moved because UCLA is what made it possible for me to move. But it was never
going to school there.
Yeah. That's how I could kind of afford to get to LA, was to do school there. And then, but the second I landed, I was skipping class to go to auditions and doing everything I could. But yeah,
So now that you've gone through this, I mean, like, what's next for you? Are you looking forward to more projects? Do you have anything in the works? Are you kind of waiting for this ride of this to sort of, because I really do feel that there's going to be a ride coming your way here from this movie, especially when it hits prime. Like, what's next for you?
I mean, even the momentum that it's kind of had so far has been really exciting, and it's weird because we were waiting on it for so long. I mean, we shot it and then kind of 2 years went by of just waiting and knowing that I had seen the movie and I felt very proud of it, which I think is kind of, for me at least, it's rare to really be like, I think this is great, and scary because it's like, you don't know if it's just people that made the movie that love it. So the waiting period was weird, but in the past couple months, I've gotten like a great manager I'm really excited about. And I have a really exciting movie I'm going to shoot I leave in like 3.5 weeks, and it's so LA to say, but I really can't say what it is. I'll tell you all when we get off the pod. Like, I literally got the offer 2 days ago, and it's
no way.
You guys are gonna like actually shit your pants.
Oh fuck!
I can't wait to do that.
It's so wild.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And like some producing stuff. I've optioned a couple books and kind of getting my production company like ready for the hopeful boom that will happen, and using the momentum I have. So I'm excited about all that stuff.
And you got that blue check on Instagram, man. That's huge, dude.
It was huge.
How long ago did you get that one?
Okay, here's the real thing. And everybody remember this. I got it like 6 months before you could pay for it. So
of course.
There we go.
Genuinely, and you can check the date. I got it authentically. But
I didn't doubt you at all, man.
I believe you.
But it was kind of a bummer because I was like, oh, my Instagram won't get verified. And then like my agents were like, oh, we can figure it out. And then they did it. And then a month later, it was like $3 and everything. I was like, okay, never mind. Like, my whole life I thought that'd be so cool.
Now you see like, oh, somebody with a verified check liked our video or shared it, and you go in and they've got like 68 followers. You're like, what the fuck?
Right away.
Who are you, guy?
We're holding out. We're waiting. We're not paying for this.
No, we're going the Conor Sherry way on this.
Yeah,
we're waiting. We'll see if Logan can get our Instagram verified.
The trick is you got to make it like, gosh, I'm like, when I did other shows, I would it's because they do it if they think you're getting impersonated. So before
exactly.
Shamefully,
you made a bunch of fake.
I don't even. Why am I even saying this right now?
No, this is amazing. I didn't even think about that. That's
actually genius, dude.
For sure. I was like, what? So I just made fake ones, and then I was like, yo, someone's pretending to be me. Like, on my iPad, like reposting.
Even though they can see your IP address, they're like, oh, it's all coming from his house. Oh, whatever.
Oh no,
just give it to him.
The fraudster's in your house. It's like,
wait, you found out.
No, because they didn't give it to me, and they were like, no. And I was like, why? That's so wild. Oh my god.
The fraudster is in your house. They're calling from in the house. That's not good.
Well, it doesn't work. So
all right. Well,
in case anyone tries it.
Well, I do got a question for you, and then we'll about let you go here. We mostly talk classic movies, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I want to know top 5 off your head, no particular order. What are your desert island movies? Like the only 5 movies you can watch for the rest of your life. What are they?
Gosh, someone did an interview with me from Letterboxd, and they didn't really tell us that it was going to be put on the Letterboxd Instagram, and they were like, give us your 5. And I said the most heinous shit of my life. I was panicking. I was literally panicking, but I just thought it was like a random dude with a little Instagram. I was like, yeah, no problem. Front page of Letterboxd Instagram. Oh man. Okay, 5. I would say, can they be like more modern, or you just
they can be whatever. Anything. Yeah, man.
Okay. I'd for sure put Mrs. Doubtfire on there.
Oh, damn.
Can do that one a lot. I would put, oh god, I'm so bad at this. This also, let me give a little disclaimer. In the same vein of growing up granola, I'm playing major catch up out here in LA.
Nice.
Like I'm watching like 3-4 movies a week. Like I did not grow up on the TV. I didn't know what IMDb was till I was all the way out here. Like that's
wow.
Wow.
It's actually wild. Anyway, okay. Mrs. Doubtfire. I get flamed for it, but I'd also put Forrest Gump on there.
Oh, dude,
shouldn't be flamed for that at all.
No.
Thank you. I know the people love it, but the film, like,
oh, get out of here.
Yeah. Anyway, I put that on there. I'd put probably like Good Will Hunting.
Cool.
I put on there, and then I'm like on a Desert Island changes. Then like the movies I think are the greatest.
Right.
Desert Island, I'd probably put like oh gosh, I'm trying to think. Dinner in America. I'll put that.
Nice.
Okay.
I would, and
that's
then
high praise.
No, right, and then maybe honestly, like maybe like a Hacksaw Ridge. Ooh. Or some sort of like movie that would make me think I could really survive.
Good call. Castaway with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Well, which one?
Castaway. Did you ever see that with Tom Hanks?
I'm like season 4 of Survivor. That's what I mean.
Yes.
No, but don't take those to the grave.
No, we won't. We won't.
And I'll text you guys. You'll be like, damn.
Oh, I forgot about this one.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Then do you remember quick fire the 5 heinous ones that you gave for Letterboxd?
No, but I can pull it up so quick.
Okay.
Wait, also they're not heinous. I feel like I'm about to burn a bunch of bridges right now by saying that. They're great movies. I just wasn't
you had Dinner in America on that one too.
Oh, shoot. I'm trying to copy Gabe and I deleted Instagram. So okay. I'll think when I remember. I know I said what did I say? Oh, I said like I was like tripping over my words, and I think I said like and Mika was like, you liked Saltburn, which I did, but not my top 5. Like nowhere in there. Thought it was great. And so then all of a sudden she was like Saltburn, and I was like, yeah, I like that movie, yeah. And then the Letterboxd editors, it was like Saltburn, and it was like Conor Sherry like loves salt, like top movie of his life is Saltburn.
Can you believe this?
Like, that's an awkward one for the desert island. That's it's a lonely desert island. That you.
It's an awkward one, I think, to be anyone's number 1.
Yeah,
I think it's an amazing movie, but it's not. Doesn't define me.
Yeah, right.
Like it's obviously great.
Yeah. So Logan says he has it. He found it. What are they?
No. And look how awkward and stressed I am.
You said Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
And you said Saltburn.
I didn't say Saltburn. I got tricked into it. They just put it on there. But I love the movie. They're all great. Great people.
And then you said Dune Part 2.
No, guys, I never. Wait, and I loved Dune Part 2.
It's a great movie. It's great.
Thank you, but
you can't go to a desert island without Dune 1.
It just seems redundant.
Dune and Saltburn in like the 3 weeks before. Like those were like the most recent movies I'd seen. I was just like, yeah, Dune. Like
what else you got?
And then he changed it from Dune to Sex Appeal, and then changed that to Poor Things.
Poor Things. From Sex Appeal to Poor Things. All right.
And Sex Appeal was Mika's movie, so I basically did the Dinner in America pop out. God, panic. What are your guys' top 1, like, or top 2 each? Like, what is?
So we do keep rankings. We've been doing this for 4 years. So we rank a movie at the end of it after we review it. Our top 5 is Dazed and Confused, The Big Lebowski, Pulp Fiction, Saving Private Ryan, Goodfellas. Those are our top 5 rated movies that we've done so far.
Also, Superbad is on mine for sure.
But see, like you said, if we're changing to Desert Island, then yes, like a lot of those movies may not make it. Superbad is probably my number 1 on Desert Island.
Superbad will be done soon, like very, very soon.
We said our cutoff was 2007 when we started the show because we wanted to give grace to make sure we could cover Superbad when we wanted to do it. That was our cutoff movie. So we're excited to do it.
Dude, yeah. I corrected it in the comments too. I put my it's like the top liked comment on the video. I was like, redemption. I thought about it on the drive home. But damn, that's wild. What are your guys' other ones? What are your guys'?
I mean, I think mine is definitely like The Shining or Reservoir Dogs is on there, or Terminator 2.
Yep.
I just
those are like handshake kind of movies. I just, this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yeah.
handshake movies. Yeah. I just did another podcast and they asked me, I had 3 on there, and they were Breakfast Club, The Thing, and The Count of Monte Cristo. So those were 3 of mine. If I were to add on to that, then it would probably be Terminator 2, and then I'd probably throw out something like a Reservoir Dogs, or what do we got over here?
Breakfast Club. We got Escape from New York, Short Circuit,
Duel.
Maybe, you know what? Honestly, maybe just Roadhouse, because Roadhouse would actually be a pretty great.
The original.
The original Roadhouse. Yeah.
I was like, damn, the new one, nice.
I think Dumb and Dumber, The Goonies, and Shaun of the Dead would be on my list.
Nice.
You ever seen Shaun of the Dead before?
I actually haven't.
But you're playing catch up. I think Shaun of the Dead should be one you should go for 100%. At this point.
I didn't know a couple of those, but I'm gonna put them all. I'm gonna write them all down.
You're watching 3 to 4 a day, you said, right? 3 to 4 a week, maybe? Was it a day?
Oh no, not a day. No, it's a week. It's a week. I'm really trying, but
What kind of genre do you really like gear towards?
I think the problem is what I really enjoy is like the super bads, but I've seen those,
Yeah.
And so then now I'm trying to like catch up culturally in like different genres, which I also enjoy, but they just tend to be longer. Yeah.
Sean, what's the best, since this is like a summer buddy flick, hangout flick, give him one recommendation of something very similar that you thought of when you saw Snack Shack.
I mean, you did say The Way Back, and that's an incredible movie.
Love that movie.
Man, Dazed and Confused is up there.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Dazed and Confused?
Totally. So good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yep. That's one of our faves.
Yeah, there's
Super
that.
Bad felt similar too.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Yeah, just like I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too. Like it's just really up there, especially like the buddy. It's summer. It's LA, so it's always summer. But yeah, that's up. Have you seen that one yet? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, I've seen it, but I haven't heard anyone related to Snack Shack. But you know what we have gotten though? We've actually, a lot of people have been saying Challengers. They're saying that Snack Shack is like the younger, more obviously different, but in the same like love triangle way. They're
okay, yeah.
It's a 90s,
Yeah.
I guess version of Challengers.
Well, that's the best part about, that's why all of our audience listens to our show, is that we go back in time to these classics from the 80s, 90s, and we talk about it from a modern eye. And that's why I think we're so high on Snack Shack, and why our audience is literally the perfect audience to watch this movie. And now that it's out on Prime, I mean, nobody has an excuse at this point. Yeah. We are your trusted source here, and we are telling you that you will love this movie. And Conor Sherry's absolutely incredible in it. Honestly, everybody should be going out to watch this movie. I mean, that is my personal opinion. And if you're listening still to this point, you need to check that movie
I think it's our collective favorite movie of the year.
100%. I would agree with that. Yeah.
That is so nice. Adam will be so happy. It's his baby. I mean, our director I love that man. I owe him everything forever. We talk all the time. His whole family and everyone. So that will mean a lot, because he really did. I mean, he truly, like, blood, sweat, and tears were in that. And it was his story and his town, and a love letter to his town, and all the movies he grew up on. So I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. And the whole crew, as he has the same crew. It's all the same costume people. They're all shooting a movie right now with him. They all did Dinner in America. I mean, it's a family, and we all feel the same, which is the greatest experience.
Well, I think we're all going to go. I'm probably going to, it's late here, but I'm still probably just going to go home and watch Dinner in America.
Dude,
and I will, to be completely honest. And then I will tell you this, that I think it's a true testament to kind of all the things we've been saying here, of like Adam and like his dedication, your guys's, the friendships that are obviously apparent that are coming across from, the movie itself. It's captured in a way that we haven't seen since a Superbad, and even some John Hughes flicks before that. It's a special thing. It's awesome, man. It really is. So
Thanks. I'm just honored to get plugged in. I mean, he's been writing it. The 90s existed before I was born. I'm like, I got to be a part of a 90s type movie and a generation I shouldn't have had that opportunity. So it means a lot to me too, to share that space and the nostalgia of it all. It's really special. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it. This is really cool.
Yeah, of course. I was stoked to come on. I was like, saw all your stuff. I listen to your guys' podcast now, by the way.
Hey, thanks.
I'm like, I've started listening now too, and I love it. So yeah, no, I appreciate it.
We try to make like one trip to LA a year usually to hit up some podcast stuff. So we'll definitely be in touch. It'd be great to meet up with you in person and hang out next time we're out there, man.
Get some real beers.
That's right.
Beer. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Stick around. We'll get this all saved. And thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.